everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great Monday. It is another edition of Maker Monday, and today we're going to be learning how to put fabric postcards together. I'm just glancing over here at the chat and making sure that everything is set up and going well. I think I'm going out. I hope I'm going out live, and I hope that everybody can hear me. Just double checking my settings really quick just to make sure, because I honestly don't see any sign that might. Can y'all hear me? I hope y'all can hear me. I hope somebody's gonna let me know if y'all can't hear me. But again, welcome everybody. If you're catching this on the replay, hello and welcome to a Maker Monday. I'm actually really getting nervous that y'all can't hear me. I don't know why I'm like freaking out about that, but I am. Anyways, until somebody tells me that y'all can't hear me, then I'm just gonna keep going. Welcome everybody. We got Becca is here, Tiffany's here, Kathleen's here, Gigi Quilts is here. Okay, good. Everybody can hear me. Good, excellent. Quiltessa is here. Mona is here. Welcome everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I forgot to post this in the Becca group. I posted this like end of last week that we were going to be doing this. I forgot to post it again and get everybody ready for today's live, but I'm so excited for this live, and everybody's going to enjoy this technique. Once you learn how to make fabric postcards, it is so easy, and you are going to find so many ways to use your scraps. You're also going to enjoy just putting them together for the fun of it. I love putting together postcards, and you'll see why here in just a few minutes. So, good, excellent. I'm coming in loud and clear. Perfect. Thank you so much, Kathleen. I really appreciate that. I don't know, like for some reason, I'm using new software still. I'm still testing things out, seeing how I like them and stuff like that. And for some reason, I thought this software showed me the lines that let me know how loud I was coming through and stuff like that. And I'm not seeing it at the moment. So I don't know if I accidentally pushed a button and made everything disappear, or if it never did from the beginning and I'm just like thinking that it did. I don't know. Anyways, not important. But what is important is a few notes. We need to go over a few things before we get started today. The first one is, don't forget about the Halloween Jelly Roll sew along. We just had National Jelly Roll Day earlier, end of last week, beginning of this week, I think it was. I caught it over on the So Yeah channel. Yes, I watched the So Yeah channel. I just don't buy anything. But I am over there. So if you're over there, I see you. I'm watching you. So yeah. But anyways, don't forget my Halloween Jelly Roll sew along is going to start October 3rd. That's coming up really quick. So if you want to sew along with me, make sure that you grab your jelly roll. Remember, you need a regular size jelly roll, and then you need a Jelly Roll Junior. All the instructions and information for what you need and all that kind of stuff, that's over on those videos. So just go click on those live videos, and it will have a preview video, and it also tells you in the description of those videos what all you're going to need for the sew along. So make sure to go check those out. If you're gonna sew along with me, I hope you'll join me. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Gigi Quilt says, I've been so excited for this. I really wanna learn how to do this. I am so excited about this. I can't tell you. Okay, anyways. Second thing is, I'm gonna be live with Donna over on her channel next Monday, so September 26th. Make sure to join me over on her channel. I'm not gonna have a live here on my channel. I'll be over on her channel. I was just watching her live just a little bit ago while she was doing her interview with, is it the Idiot Quilter? I think so. Make sure to go check out her channel and get subscribed to her channel, and then join me there next week when I join her live and she interviews me, and we're gonna have a grand old time, and I can't wait for that. So it'll be a lot of fun. It is, I feel bad because I haven't memorized her channel name yet, but Sewing with Ying, right? I think that's her channel name. My mods will be happy to put in the information for her on our chat here. Also, if you need the commands for the chat, all you have to do is hit !help. That will give you all the lives, and that'll give you all of the commands, and there's a few surprise commands in there, so give them a try. See what happens. Kathleen says, Ian, your totes welcome. Plus, I can't lie. My favorite song in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I'm coming in loud and clear in reverse. I got that. I like that. Handmade by Ying with Donna. I keep wanting to say like handmade with Donna, but I know there's Ying in there. Anyways, handmade by Ying with Donna. Make sure to go check out her channel. Becca just dropped in a link. Thank you so much, Becca. I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, I think that covers all the announcements. One side note, if you see me wince, I apologize. I've done something to my shoulder. I don't know what happened. It literally just flared up over the weekend, and even just like raising my shoulder is hurt. So if you see me wince, I do apologize. It's something with my shoulder. I don't know what I did. I'm started going to the chiropractor, and I think things are moving and inflamed and like trying to figure itself out. It'll be fine, but yeah, if you see me like wince, that's what's going on. So just so that way y'all know what's going on. All right, let's go ahead and head to the table. We're gonna take a look at what we're gonna be using in today's project. All right, so first of all, I should probably show you what I'm talking about when I talk about quilted postcards. Now, first of all, I have to show off this beautiful couture bag. This is by the Quilty Architect. Make sure to go check him out on Instagram. I purchased this. He announced over on his Instagram that he was putting some of these bags up for sale, and they're perfect. They're the perfect size. Martha says, Ian, I love your NASA shirt. Thank you. I love NASA too. I really love NASA a lot. So I have a whole thing. In fact, that's for another time. I'll just tell you, if you Google my name, there's a good chance you're going to come across a PBS show that I was in. But anyways, that's for another time. This bag, like I said, was done by the Quilty Architect, and it's the perfect size for me to put my quilted postcards into it. So I have a couple of stashed away in here, but this is what we are going to be, I'm looking over my shoulder here. I'm going to put this like this. So this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to make our own quilted postcards. Thank you, Becca, for dropping that link in. I greatly appreciate it. Becca is on top of it. Both Becca and Tiffany just jump on the links, and I have not even prompted them or got them ready or anything. So this is a quilted postcard. Yes, that's right. It is a quilted postcard. This is another more simple design that I did. I actually really love this one. I love the blue and the white theme. And then I just did some random quilting in it. So this came out really great. I love this one a lot. It's going to be hard for me to drop it into the mail and get it sent off to somebody, but it is so freaking cool. I love it. The cool thing is, on the back here, guess what? This is paper. This is just regular old cardstock. And so you can actually write a message, and you... Sorry, I just saw Becca tried out the 8-ball. That's funny. So this is cardstock. Can you actually mail them? Gigi Quilts asks, can you actually mail them? Guess what? You can. I'm going to bring this back to my face really quick. Guess what? You can actually mail these in the mail. And the best part of it is you use a regular forever stamp, not a postcard stamp. You can't use a postcard stamp with these, but if you use a regular forever stamp, these go through the mail. Now, you can mail them just like this. However, they can get a little dusty, a little dirty. I have not personally mailed one just like this yet. I'm going to, though. One of these is going to end up in the mail just like this. A lot of times I'll use a larger envelope and put it inside the envelope. Guess what? A regular stamp still makes that work. You can still make that work, even just with a regular stamp, because these are regular size, and the post office does not charge extra for these. So I do need to stop and mention that I learned this from Sarah Ruiz. She is a wonderful quilter, and I would like to consider her an Instagram buddy. She's an Instagram buddy of mine. We've chatted a lot on Instagram, and I met up with her at QuiltCon, and I took her postcard class. I learned this technique from her. I have linked to her blog post where she gives all the instructions for how to do this. It is So it's a great repository of knowledge from her. Again, that's down in the description. All you have to do is go into the description box, and I've linked her blog post to it. It is so easy to do this. There are a lot of ways to make quilted postcards, though. There are literally many, many different ways to make quilted postcards. So if you just Google quilted postcard, you can find a lot of different ways. This is the way that I learned from Sarah. And Sarah sometimes does kits. She'll actually create postcard kits that have everything you need in them. You just order the kit from her Etsy shop. She'll ship it out to you, and then you just provide the fabric and you're ready to go. So QuiltCon was a great experience with her, learning how to do this, learning all the tricks that she kind of taught us. Definitely, like I said, please, please, please go support her. She has an Instagram, she has an Etsy site, and of course she has her blog. Make sure to go send her love and light because she deserves every bit of it, and I want to make sure that she gets all the credit for this that she deserves, because she taught me how to do this, and I absolutely freaking love it. So make sure to go give her some love and light and let her know that I sent you over to her social media, because she will be very pleased that you've learned how to make postcards. She did this as her 100-day projects. If you don't, 100, so amazing. Janet, no worry, you can always catch me on the replay. I know, I saw earlier that you watched the Queen's funeral. I did not stay up that late. I did not watch the Queen's funeral all the way through. I caught when I woke up this morning and saw the tail end of it, basically. All right, lots of information there. Kathleen says, 8-Ball, is Ian sending me his postcards from tonight's live? That's funny, I like this. The 8-Ball is pretty funny in this. All right, so let's get started with what you're going to need. Oops, there we go. So to make your quilted postcards, here is what you're gonna need. You are going to need some cardstock. So this is 65-pound cardstock. Do not use just regular copy paper. That is going to be too light and will not work well. So you're gonna use some sort of cardstock. 65 pounds and heavier works better, works best. And then we have some Pelon. This is the Peltex 72F. It is the double-sided Fuse Ultra Firm Stabilizer. This stuff is no joke. Like, it is seriously, seriously some thick stuff, and this is great. This is what gives your postcard its body. So remember, that is the Pelon Peltex 72F. Double-sided fusible ultra firm stabilizer. I had to pull the name over here to make sure that I remembered it. You're also going to need the batting of your choice, so whatever batting you want to use for it. You're going to need some threads. You can use just regular white thread, but I have a couple of decorative threads or colored threads. Those help out with the quilted, or the edge. That helps out with the edge of the postcards. So if you want to match your colors, you can use your threads to match to the color of your postcard. You'll need a rotary cutter. You'll need your grid cutting rulers. Couldn't think of the word for a second. You'll need your rulers. You're going to need some scrap fabric. I think I already said the rotary cutter. This is what makes this so easy for me. I have a Bernina machine, and I have this is the 10D foot. And I'll show you why this is so important to me and my machine. But of course, every machine is going to be a little bit different. So if you have a machine other than a Bernina that has like this center guideline or something like that, this foot works really great for making that happen. Does it have to be, do you have to have this foot in order to do them? No, it just makes it easier and a lot simpler, and I will show you why when we get to that part. I'm gonna go ahead and set that next to my machine for now. I think I've covered everything, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that we need to do, I'm gonna set all this off to the side while I start in on the process of making my quilted postcard. So I've got my scraps. This is, like I said, this project is so good for scraps. So easy to use scraps for this one. Where do I want to put this? I don't have enough room. I'm in a one bedroom apartment and I still don't have, by myself, and I still don't have all the room. All right. Like I said, scraps work really great for this project, so I'm just pulling out some scraps that I think I want to use. I'm going to make tonight's project fairly simple. I'm just going to do strips of this colored fabric. I don't want to do anything like too crazy, just because I want this to be an example and just, you know, something easy for you to follow along with and take a look. Let's see. I don't think I want the black in there. I think I want the blue. So I'm just laying things out kind of willy-nilly, just whatever. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to use that fabric or not. Should I put erasers in the center? Maybe I should do something like that. I don't think I want that in there. I think I'm going to do a green. So look at your scraps. You can do things any which way you want to. It is completely up to, oh, I think I want the pencil sharpeners instead. And I think I'm going to move this around. This is fun, just, you know, working with your scraps and seeing what kind of scraps you have. Make it as scrappy, make it as easy as you want, whatever you want to do. What do y'all think about this? I've got some blue scribble fabric, I've got my purple pencils, I've got my pencil sharpeners, and then I've got some green scribbles, and then I've got my reddish orange pencils. What do y'all think about that? I kind of like that. Memoirs of a Long-Arm Quilter. Hey, Ian, everyone. Hey, how are you? I think I like that. I think I'm going to go with that. Tiffany says it looks great. All right, so I'm going to go with this. And I forgot to give you the dimensions of everything. Guess what? The dimensions are a postcard size, 5 by 7. So everything that we're going to be making today is going to be sized 5 by 7. And what I've done, I've actually marked that. You may have noticed on my ruler here, I've gone ahead and marked with blue tape. This is a good trick if you have a repetitive measurement that you're going to. I've marked underneath or less than the 7-inch mark, and I've marked just a little less than 5 inches. So that way I can see really quickly, here's my 7-inch line, here's my 5-inch line. I know exactly where I need to cut, and it makes it easier for me to measure everything out just super fast. So 5 by 7 is what we're going to be working with tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of this over to my sewing machine. Let's see, which button do I want to push? I'm going to push this one. Hi! You can see me now. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over to the sewing machine. I don't have my sewing camera tonight because it will come in just a moment. In fact, I feel like I have like Wally or something. You see him over here? He's just hanging out. I had to kind of set him on a different setup today because I need y'all to see from my view. I wish there was a way that I could just like plug the USB into my brain so that way you could see exactly what my eyes are seeing, because that would make it the easiest. You know, a lot of times you can gather around at workshops and stuff like that, but for this, I needed a way for y'all to see exactly what I was doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sew these together in strips. Nothing too crazy. I forgot to put my back part down. There we go. Dual feed. I forgot to put my dual feed down when I changed my feed out. The best thing about this is you can be as neat as you want. You can be as sloppy as you want, as long as you're closing off your seams. Like, as long as everything's closed off, that's all that matters. So you can do all sorts of different techniques. You can do applique, you can do it all. You can absolutely do whatever you want on this. it is just so much fun. It is really, really a lot of fun. So now I'm going to move over to my next one. I think I want it there. And I'm going to pull up the chat over here so that way I can see. Look at that. I've like got technology and stuff. I can actually see what's going on. Nate says we should do a postcard swap. That would be a lot of fun. Postcard swap would be a lot of fun. But like I was saying, you can do applique with this. Just remember that your canvas is a little smaller. When I was doing painting, art painting, like acrylic paint, sometimes I would do ATCs, which are artist trading cards, and those are 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So they're a little bit smaller than your normal artwork, right? And it was harder. It was actually harder for me to do those smaller miniature canvases than it was to do a much bigger canvas, because you really have to get really into those details, and like those very small, minute details, you have to like little itty bitty. So in a way, doing this smaller is actually harder, in my opinion. But it can be a lot of fun. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trim this off at my seam allowance. And I'm gonna hold on to this strip because I never know. I may wanna use this for another, oops. I think I might need to change out my blade because I keep hitting those, All right, so now we're gonna go and move on to our next one, which I think, let's see, dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it should be this one. So I'm gonna take this over to the sewing machine. Hey KG, welcome. I do need a head cam, Nancy. That would be very helpful. I need a head cam. All right, put that right there. And I'm probably not getting these lines perfectly straight. Again, that's the really fun thing about this project, is it doesn't have to be super amazingly like perfect. This is a really fun canvas to work with. Tiffany's back. Welcome back. So this strip right here might be a little too small for me to work with again. But look how cute that is. Look at that little pencil sharpeners right there. Where do I want to put this? I think I want to put it right there. And then I'm going to put this in the machine. Oh, and of course you need an iron. Sorry, I forgot about that. I literally was thinking about that as I was going through all of the instructions. I was like, don't forget to talk about the iron. Don't forget to talk about the iron. What did I do? Forgot to talk about the iron. You also need an iron, of course. I do have it set up behind me over, ooh, let's not sew a zigzag, shall we? I did set it up behind me for when it's time to press all of this. All right. Boop, boop, boo. All right. Look how cute that is already. I love it. But we are not at 7 inches. In fact, if I take my ruler here, we are close, but I'm short. So I need to add on another strip. Let's just grab those erasers that I reached for the first time. Where'd that get off to? Grab the erasers. I think that would be pretty cute at the end. Like we're erasing everything that we just drew. Where'd it go? I swear it was just here. Oh, there it is. I found it. Now, whenever you do sew this, you do want to sew it slightly larger than the 5x7. because we are going, oops, I forgot to trim this. It makes it easier to trim it down whenever you're going from the full size down to the 5x7. So I always go a little bit bigger than 5x7, but I cut my paper to 5x7 so that way I know exactly what the size is going to be. Does that make sense? Dibs, says Becca. All right, let me put this on here. Hope everybody's had a great Monday. Mine was all over the place, to be honest. I have had a very hectic Monday, but that is a-okay. I'm here with y'all now. My seams are going all over the place, so let's go this way, shall we? Go to sleep. All right, so I'm measuring up here at my corner, and it looks like I've now surpassed the 5x7. Let me just double check. All right, so can everybody see? Let me move it a little bit this way to make sure that I'm out of the way, or I could, get rid of my little box here. There we go. All right, so as you can see, this is now larger than my area that I've marked off for 5x7. So this is going to perfectly cover up a front of a postcard. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go over to my sewing machine, or my iron, and I'm going to iron all the seams the same direction. And I'm just going to get it ready to quilt, because we are going to quilt this. I've got to let my iron warm up. So we're going to quilt this next. That's going to be our next step, is to quilt it. So, excuse me, I just scarfed down to dinner again. So we're going to take our batting and we're going to do this one is going to be super basic quilting. It's not going to be anything crazy. For this example, I'm just going to do straight lines. Straight line quilting, super easy, super fast. We'll get it done in a heartbeat. And the cool thing is you can get as detailed as you want to. As you can see on this one, oops, it's upside down. You can see here, I went kind of crazy with that quilting. I just went in there and really started to quilt it. So whatever you want to do with your quilting is completely up to you. This one has less dense quilting, and so there's just sporadic lines of quilting. The white kind of hides the white thread, but you can see here the quilting isn't too crazy, and I just kind of felt it, and I was just, I just said, okay, we're gonna do 3 lines this way. Okay, I think I want to do 3 lines this way now. Oh, I like this, and I just kind of played around with it, right? So it's however you want to do it. It's completely up to you. I'm gonna go ahead and press this. Which way am I pressing? I'm pressing this way. So I'm gonna quickly press my seams all in the same direction here. If you've ever wanted to do foundation paper piece, like a small foundation paper piece, this is a great way to practice. This would be a really easy project to do that on. And then the best part is you get to mail it off to your friend and be like, look what I can do. Look what I can do. All right. So, get it? So, my batting's over there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave it on this camera. And what I'm gonna do is I have my batting, and my batting's actually, is it cut at 5x7? It is slightly larger than 5x7, just a tad bigger than 5x7. And I could, if I really wanted to, so what I'm gonna do, I know the batting's on the wrong side right now, but I could go ahead and put my batting with this space down here at the bottom. So if I wanted to cut this out and make a strip that could go onto another card, I could, oh, you know, it helps if I choose the right camera, huh? There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. My bad. I know y'all are about to be like, hey, Ian, wrong camera. Yeah, I know. So anyways, I know that you're looking at it with the batting on top of the fabric. Don't sew it like this. But I'm just showing you, if I really wanted to, I could cut this strip off when it's time to trim it up. And then I could use this strip on another project, on another card. So, on another postcard. So, you know, think about that when you're putting your projects together. Think about what it might look like if you didn't sew it all the way. Like, if I did that. And I'm trying to make everything as even as possible. I think everybody's yelling at me in the chat now. Y'all are about 30 seconds behind the live, so I see it. 8 Ball, is Ian going to fly to the moon? I don't know. 8 Ball, are you going to give us an answer? Y'all, that is too funny. I know, this 8 Ball is really fun. All right, so let's go to this camera, and I'm gonna go ahead and just quilt super fast with some straight lines. I am going to use my measuring apparatus. I don't know, what is this called? What is I have a Bernina. What is it called to use this little doodad that you put under the, or put it into the, put it into the foot. I'm measuring, that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna quilt, oops. Oh man, I always do that. I turn the little thing the wrong way and then it falls out. Becca, you're a total whiz-bang tonight. Hey, Ball, where's my answer? I don't know. Hold on, guys, I'm so sorry. I just pulled this screw out, or I just turned this screw all the way out. So it's gonna take me a second to get it put back in. I've gotta take the foot all the way out, because that will make it a whole lot easier and more simple. Becca says, you missed it. While you were pressing, it looked like you were peeing in the corner. We asked the Magic 8 Ball if you were, and it said yes. I knew when I activated that 8 Ball, it would be a hoot. And so far, I've been proven right. That's hilarious. All right, so I love this little ruler. I have a little ruler here. I'm gonna measure out 1 inch. I think I know where it is on my machine, but I just want to double check. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm gonna put that right there. Somebody probably told me the answer of what this little metal piece is called, but I didn't see it. You've given me the tools to entertain myself. Well, that's good. All right, so what I'm gonna do is get this ready, and we're just gonna do some simple, I'm gonna change my stitch to a quilting stitch. So I've extended my length of stitch to 3.0. Are you joking? What's for dinner? Are you joking? That's funny. All right, so where's about my center? I think, oh, am I gonna do this diagonally? Let's go here. Yeah, I'm gonna do some diagonal quilting, just something super easy. And I forgot to put my dual feed back down. There we go. And if I really wanted to get like super precise, I would have measured out 45 degrees and done 45 degrees, but I didn't feel like it. So I just started sewing and said, well, whatever happens, happens, right? I'm going to bring my needle down, and again, I'm just doing 1 inch. And this one's going to be a little wobbly. I'm noticing the first line that I did was not 100% straight and wobbles a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to use that as my guide and just keep moving forward. Why did my... There we go. What the heck is lol? Lol basically means LOL. It's just a different way to say LOL. It's kind of like lol. That's all it is. Ooh, that was weird. My stitch got all bunched up right there. I think it's okay. It'll have a little pucker in it, and that's not a big deal. Let's see, can we do, yeah, we can do one more, but just very, very on the edge. And it does help, even if you, like, right there I had just like the very minute of corner to go over. It does help to go ahead and do that anyways, just because it helps tack everything down whenever you're working on it. So I would recommend, even if it's just that like one little bit, go ahead and do it anyways, just to make sure that you're getting everything tacked down. So I'm just doing straight lines. You could do a zigzag stitch. If you have a decorative stitch on your machine, you could do a decorative stitch. You could do all sorts of different things. Maybe Becca or Tiffany or somebody else who, what? You're gonna steal that. Tiffany said, 8-Ball, is Becca picking her nose? And 8-Ball said, I wouldn't recommend it. That's funny. Maybe somebody who quilts could let me know in the chat. Could you put your quilted postcard fabric on top of batting and just do a batting and top fabric? Like, does that make sense? Could you go onto your long arm? Could you spread out the batting, plop down whatever your front of your postcard is going to look like, and do quilting just like that? I don't know. I don't have a long arm, so I don't know. But I'm wondering if that would work. So that way you could like either do one large panel and do the whole panel like that, and then cut it up into smaller 5x7s, or maybe you can plop down several different designs and quilt it like that. Let me know in the chat if you think that might be a possibility, because that would be a great way to like turn them out pretty quick. I feel like that would be super fast. And you know, Tiffany, anything that makes hers go faster, you can do it. Becca says, yes, if you attached paper postcard to the back and then zigzagged all of it really tight. I'm wondering though, could you like just do the batting and the top fabric? Don't put anything on the back, just do batting and top fabric. I'm wondering if that would work. You know what I mean, Becca? Hello. Craft a Simple Life, hello, welcome back from dinner. is this gonna give me? I'm just gonna put some like super small stitches here at the end. You don't need backing. Okay, so it sounds like if you really wanted to, you could do this with just your front and your batting, and then do it on a long arm, and then cut it down to the sizes that you need. All right, so now I'm gonna go the opposite direction. Where do I want to start? I want to start here. Trying to sew and watch the chat is hard. And I keep getting my fingers stuck under the bar here, and so I feel like the machine's about to eat my hand. 8-ball, is the machine about to eat Ian's hand? If I wasn't sewing, I would type that into the chat right now. How many of you are ready for the sew along next month? I'm so excited about that. I can't even tell you guys how excited I am. It's so easy. This project seems like it is going to be so easy. I say that and then watch, everything just explodes on me. But I feel like it's going to be pretty darn easy. It's my hope. So I'm just quilting along. Uh-oh, did somebody say they're blue? Da-boo-dee-boo-doo-boo, doo-ba-dee-bee-doo-boo. You're welcome. Tiffany just asked the Magic 8-Ball, is the machine going to eat Ian? And it said, sure. I don't know how I feel about that. Some of the things that I look up to in chat, I'm just like, what is happening? Makes me giggle. Makes me giggle. Is there anybody who is sewing with me tonight? Are you making postcards right now as well? Don't forget, after the live is over, if you have been making one with me, or if you make one of these in the future, tag me on social media. I want to see it. I want to see what postcards you come up with. Did I just unthread? No. Okay, good. Have I worn my jacket out yet? That is a good question. I have not. I still need to put the buttons on it. And so I have not worn it out yet. A few more things that I want to tweak on it before I actually wear it out. Plus it's too hot. Texas is back in the 90s again. It feels like August again. Like September, what September? We are in August again. Quiltessa is sewing as well. Awesome. The needle there. I'm certainly playing along with random grab and sew. Ooh, that's fun. Riff Raff says, you're so handsome. Are you talking to me? Oh, stop it. All right. Quintessa is making cherry wood fabric pineapples with pineapple trim too. It's so fun and fast. Memories of a Long Arm Quilter says, Ian, are you on Instagram? I want to make one and I want to tag you. Yes, I am on Instagram. It's off Kilter Crafter Ian on Instagram. I do have a Twitter and a Facebook page. I don't really use my Facebook page. I kind of like let it die. It's still there, but I don't really post anything to it. Instagram goes over to my Facebook page. And then, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't post on my Twitter anymore. It's so hard to be a social media mogul and do all the things. And then I also now have, why is this sending me messages? I don't know. I also now have a, what's that thing called? TikTok. I have a TikTok as well now because of peer pressure. That's why. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's go overhead. All right, so here's what it looks like, guys. Doesn't it look cool? I mean, this is fun enough as it is. It's a lot of fun. I love it. All right, so here's the next steps. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna cut this down a little bit bigger than my 5x7. I'm cutting it slightly larger than 5x7. The reason I'm doing that is because this will give me a little wiggle room when it comes time to actually put this onto the cardstock and the Pellon. So I'm just cutting it a little bit bigger. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. It's better to cut it a little bit bigger before you actually fuse it onto your cardstock. That side's pretty okay. I think I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna come over here. There we go. Okay, so that's what it looks like at this moment. Cutting it down big. Oh, did I say that backwards? There's a good chance I probably said cut it down to make it bigger. That would be me. All right, so here's what we got. We have our quilted card front, our postcard front. We have our fusible interfacing. We have our cardstock. I will have to take this over to my iron. In fact, let me make sure my iron is warming up. The debt-free quilter says, I figured out description links today. I am learning too. Awesome. Okay, so this is going to be our sandwich, right? So what's gonna happen is I would take y'all along over to my iron, but I don't have a camera over there. So I'm gonna show you how to put your sandwich together over here, and then I'm gonna actually do it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to take and flip this over. Did I get some threads? I do have some threads right there. Oh well, that's in there. So what's gonna happen is, you're gonna take your pretty side of your postcard, I'm gonna put it down. You take your fusible interfacing and you're gonna put it over just like that. Then you're gonna take your paper and you're gonna put it on top just like this. So now I'm making sure that my paper covers up everything, right? I don't want my glue from my fusible interfacing to end up on my iron. So now I'm gonna take this over to my ironing board. I'm gonna take my iron and I'm gonna go, normally my iron doesn't fart, but I'm gonna put the heat onto the front side of my postcard and I'm gonna let it sit there for a moment. Obviously there are usually you follow the instructions for fusible interfacing and I tend to just throw those away. So I'll put my iron down, I'll fuse it for a few seconds, I'll move my iron over, fuse it for a couple of seconds, move my iron over, fuse it for a couple of seconds, and I'll just keep doing that, right? I'll keep doing that until everything is fused. Then, usually your paper is just barely fused. It's not actually all the way fused onto your sandwich, but it'll start to stick. So I'll flip it over, and yes, I put the iron directly onto the paper. I don't leave it there very long. I leave it there for just a moment or two until I'm sure that the bond has happened between my paper and my fusible interfacing. So I'll put it on top of my paper for a few seconds just to make sure that everything's there. Don't leave it on there too long because then you'll start to burn your paper. So don't leave it on there too long. I do put my iron on the hottest setting because I want that heat to transfer all the way from the front into my fusible interfacing. Does that make sense? Questions? Well, there's the first time for everything. I know. What type of paper? Kathleen asked, what type of paper? So this is just regular, I'm trying to find the right camera. This is just regular cardstock. This is 65-pound cardstock. You can go all the way up to 110-pound cardstock. Any of those will work. Cardstock is measured in pounds. The higher the number, the heavier weight of a paper. Can you hear? That's a pretty heavy weight paper. I have 110 over in the other room, but I like to use 65, 85, somewhere around in that range. Typically works well because your needle's not having to really work to get through it. So 65 to 85 is usually where I'll stay. I don't typically go up to 110, but you can. Yep, it is cardstock. Very good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I know I have my back turned to everybody, but I'm going to go ahead and arrange my quilt sandwich because it kind of fell apart while I was giving that explanation. So I'm just going to go ahead and come over here and pop my sandwich back together again. Man, I need a sandwich. I'm hungry. I actually didn't eat dinner. I ate a little snack before we got started, but I didn't actually eat dinner. So I'm slightly hungry, but that's okay. All right, so I'm just checking all my sides to make sure that my sandwich is good, making sure that nothing's coming apart. And if something's a little short, that's okay, because what you can do is just kind of center everything as best as possible. If there's a little hanging over or a little that's short, that is okay. You don't want like a whole inch or half inch or quarter inch or anything like that. But if it's just like a micro hair shorter on one side, you're fine. If it's a micro hair longer, that could be, I mean, it's fine at this stage because we're going to be trimming it up, right? So if it's a little bit over, it doesn't matter. But if you're a little under, don't freak out. All right, so I just put my iron onto it. It is still very hot. I'm going to just quickly run my iron over the paper. This is very warm. Very, very warm. Woo! Very warm. So let's go back here. What happened to Teresa? I see Teresa, that's so exciting. I didn't see what happened though. Bummer, roadblock. I don't have cardstock that thick. That's okay. You now know what you need to go get at the store. All right, I'm cooling this off really quick. It is still very, very hot. And so now what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to take my ruler here, and I'm going to rest it up against the edge. I have to stand up. Does anybody else have to stand up whenever they're cutting? I don't know why, but I always have to stand up whenever I'm cutting. Becca has that really cool Martelli rotary cutter. But I love my tulip pink, so I don't know. Anyways, all right, so I'm just gonna trim. And I'm gonna turn it. It's also hard because I'm like underneath this ring light, and so it makes it a little difficult for me to cut. Because I'm trying to like stick my head underneath the ring light. Man, I'm frustrated because I swore I put everything into Do Not Disturb, and I see the Do Not Disturb icon on my screens, but things are still getting through. I'm gonna have to go back and check my Apple settings to see if I did something. All right. Okay. Look at that. Look how cool that is. The tulip pink is pretty. I know. Look how pretty it is. It's just, it's so beautiful. All right. Here we go. Here is our creation so far. This is what we're looking like. We're looking really good. We've got our sandwich all put together. We've got our paper on the back. We've got our creation on the front. It's looking awesome. Guess what time it is now? It is time to do the edging. So remember on these postcards, I did the edging by zigzag stitch. So now it's time to get it. Am I 6 away from something? Becca, am I 6 away from something? Kathleen says, going to use what I have with fusible foam. That's a little thicker. Stiffa to let's see what, yeah, absolutely. Experimentation is fun. Honestly, like with postcards, experimentation is so much fun. This one was a total experiment. I buried some threads. You can see where I buried threads at the beginning and at the end. And so just experiment, see what happens. Fusible fleece is possible, but it's not going to give you the rigidity. Like, can you hear how, like, it's got some substance behind it. Fusible fleece will be like too limp, and so it might make it harder. It's still mailable. You can still mail that. In fact, here's an interesting story. You can actually mail almost anything. Obviously, hazardous chemicals, hazardous items of all. Like that, you can't mail those things. But I have mailed a beach ball. Yes, you heard that right. I have mailed a beach ball before, and the post office takes it. They will take it. You can there's a website, I believe, I haven't gone out to check in a while, but there's a website that you can mail a potato. Potato. You can mail it. It mails. It can be sent through the mail. So could you mail that? Yes. It would be flimsy and harder to, it may get lost in the mail, to be honest, because of how limp it would be. And so it might try to go into, because all they do is they take their carts and just dump them into the automatic sorting machines, right? So in theory, like something that's a little more pliable would just like, could possibly end up in a belt somewhere and it could get lost. So usually something with rigidity, like the fusible stiff board thing, the Peltex 72F, that thing there. Usually that's what really helps make it work. All right, so let's get set up. I'm gonna move some things. Did I just run over? I ran over my remote. That's what I did. So I'm grabbing my camera because this is the part that I want everybody to see very clearly what happens. So I'm gonna turn on this camera. All right, so here I'm at my machine. I'm gonna go ahead and take off my foot. Well, I'm gonna take off this foot. This was the 97D that I was working with. This is my piecing foot. It's not really great for quilting, but I use it anyways to do small projects like this. All right. Just adjust the camera. Oh, I have a camera over here. 6 away from 2K. Awesome. Let's get 6 more for Teresa. That's so awesome. 1 more to go. Oh, let's get Teresa up to 2,000. She's 1 away. All right. So what we're gonna do is, oops. I'm going to go ahead and set my machine settings. I'm going to do a zigzag stitch. I'm going to increase my zigzag stitch. I think I did it at 6. I think I did it at a 6. And then I'm going to decrease my stitch length to 1.5. No, excuse me, 1.05. There we go. Each machine is going to be a little bit different. The way you do this is going to be different on each machine, right? So as you're going through this process, this is really a time for trial and error. If you do your stitch length too close together, you can actually perforate it to turn it into like a tearaway. So be careful with how small you make your stitches, because it can get too small where your cardstock just pulls away from the actual postcard. I've done it. It still made it out okay. It didn't actually tear away, but I could tell if I was to bend the card, it would pop off the back. So you're gonna have to kind of experiment. I think I may actually increase my stitch length. I'm gonna do, I think, what am I gonna do? No, I'm gonna keep it at 1.05. We'll see how this works. All right, so what I'm gonna do, whenever you get to this part, you're going to put your fabric side down, because the feed dogs are going to grab onto the fabric. The feed dogs have a really hard time grabbing onto the cardstock, so always put your card face down, your postcard face down when it's time to get to this part. So I have my postcard face down. I'm just pulling my thread there. All right. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put my foot down. And this guide right here, I'm going to butt my cardstock right up against, and I'm going to adjust my camera so that way hopefully you can see a little better. I'm going to bring the exposure down. Whoops, that may be a little too far. That looks a little better. All right, so what I'm gonna do, does everybody see how I have my cardstock, my card pushed right up against this divider? This is where, this is going to keep the edge of my card so that the zigzag stitch actually comes off and puts it back on. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I am gonna put the first couple of stitches in. Looks like it's gonna do okay. And of course I forgot to put my dual feed in, so I'm gonna put that back there. I find when I do this on my machine, the dual feed really helps to kind of bring it along. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna zigzag stitch back and forth. And I'm pushing up against my divider right here in the center. And that's gonna help guide it as it's going through. Could you do this project without a foot like this? Yes. Do you have to be a little more careful as you're putting it through? Absolutely, because you want to have that. I had to wait for the needle to get into the fabric, or into the sandwich. You want to make sure to keep right on that center area as you're pushing your postcard through. And it's so much more difficult if you don't have that guide. Does that make sense to everybody? So I've hit the end. I'm gonna go ahead and sew a couple more stitches, and then I'm gonna back stitch. So I'm back stitching. Oops, and I always do that. I always end off. My needle came off. Try to get it so that the needle lands inside your postcard. I'm gonna rotate it, and I'm just a hair over. Let's see if I can get it where it ends up in. Okay, there we go. So I've hit the corner. I'm gonna turn my sandwich. I'm gonna go ahead and stitch a couple stitches forward. I'm gonna go reverse, stitch a couple backwards. Stitch off the edge is usually what I do. And then I'm gonna go forwards again. This foot is the 10D foot for Bernina. If you have a Bernina, it's a 10D. I'm gonna go back a couple stitches, go forward a couple stitches. Ooh, and I think I just hit it off a little bit. I did. That's okay. I'm gonna back stitch around the corner again until I just get off the sandwich, and then I'm gonna go back forwards. And I'm really just pushing into my divider here. And it looks like I actually ended up on the 1.1 stitch, and I think it's working pretty well. So I'm going to turn that. I'm going to drop everything down, do a couple stitches in, a couple stitches back. I'm going to go forwards again. And this is the part where if I had thought about it, I should have changed to a different color of thread, but I wasn't thinking about it. Because if I wanted the front to match, like if I wanted colors to match, I would have changed out my top thread or both, but I forgot. But that's okay. I tend to always forget, to be honest, and I'll just stitch with whatever I have. All right, so I've gone all the way around once. I'm gonna go, I like the look of doing it twice, so I'm gonna go around again a second time. So I'm just stitching around. This part gets a little like tedious because it's the same repetitive thing over and over again, but it makes the card look so good. All right, so I've turned, a couple of stitches in, a couple of stitches back, and then I can go forwards and just pedal to the metal. And would receipt card kind of paperwork also for this? Would receipt card, a recipe card. Oh, yeah. Usually you're dealing with cardstock there, so that would work. Sorry, I have dyslexia, so sometimes I read the wrong word. And I was like, what's a receipt card? Yeah, recipe card. Yep. Round, round stitches going around. That's right. All right, so we're gonna go forward a couple, go back a couple. And sometimes I end up a little too far and the guide kind of pops up a little bit. And that's okay, it happens. Just, kind of recenter yourself and you'll be fine. Yes, Crystal, absolutely, that would work. It's gonna be, wait. I was gonna say it's gonna be smaller, but don't they make 5x7 recipe cards, I think? So I think it would be the same size. Oops. But yes, that's cardstock and that would work. Does this camera give everybody help? Whoops. I'm hoping this camera view kind of helps you see how this works. All right, I'm coming to the end. I've gone around twice now. I'm going to go ahead and back stitch a couple of times and forward stitch. And I'm going to end in my material. Dyslexic of the world unite. Absolutely. It's actually untie. Oh, you said that. I just had dyslexia. That was the dyslexic moment that actually happened right then. Oh boy. All right. Well, there you go. All right. So now I'm embarrassed because I totally just ran into that. All right. So I'm going to show you again. So that guide really helps to put that, like push up against that guide really helps out a lot to be able, sorry, my needle started moving and I wasn't expecting that. We're gonna change it back to that and do that. All right, so now I'm gonna plop it, camera back over. Where's my mouse? There it is. All right, so we have now, what foot am I using? That is the 10D. Let's see if it'll focus here. It is the Bernina 10D foot. And it has that little guide there in the center. This is the 10D. Come on, focus. Focus. 10D. All right, so look at that edge. Look how pretty that edge looks. It is so awesome. Same thing happened to you? That's so funny. So I've got a couple of threads that are hanging off. I'm just gonna take a pair of scissors and just trim those. Do not cut your threads that are holding the edge together. Make sure not to cut those. Sometimes the interfacing or the batting will stick out a little bit, and I will, trim off any like super excess amounts. But there we go. Let me see if I can get a closer. There you go. There is your quilted postcard with paper on the back that is now ready for you to write your message and put a regular forever stamp onto it, and it's ready to be sent in the mail. It's just that easy. If you're looking for Craft a Simple Life says, if you're looking for a generic foot, search for Stitch in the Ditch foot. That's what mine is called. Yes, mine is a dual feed foot. So my 10D foot, where'd it go? Here it is. My 10D foot is a dual feed. That's because my machine is dual feed. I believe the Bernina 10 foot is also, because it's usually whatever is the D foot is, without the D is going to be the same foot. So I think it's the 10 foot that has the Stitch in the Ditch guide on it. But each machine is a little bit different, so you'll have to kind of experiment with your machine. So yeah, but yeah, mine is a dual feed machine, which is why, I kept forgetting to put the dual feed down. But yeah, that's what that is. Dual feed. But there we go. So now I have a collection of postcards. Whoops. That are ready to go in the mail. All I have to do is write my message, write my message on the back, write my recipients, and then plop it into the mail. Isn't that fun? Aren't they just so much fun? I really love doing these, and I'm so glad that Sarah Ruiz, I can't say her name correctly, Sarah Ruiz introduced me to these postcards. They are just so much fun, so easy to make. It takes up your scraps like nobody's business. A great way to use up the scraps. This one, I found all the blue and white scraps in my bin and just started sewing them together and came up with that. I was actually watching Severance. I was watching Severance on Apple TV when I was working on these because I'm addicted. I'm addicted to that show. It's really bad. But anyways, but yeah, let me see if I can, no, which one is that? Yeah. No, that's fine. I was going to show you on the back where like my holes were too close together and it kind of looked like my paper was getting perforated so that I would tear off, but all these seem to be doing okay. I don't see anything too crazy with any of these. Just remember, when you're putting your postcards through your sewing machine, put them with the pretty side down because your feed dogs will grab onto the fabric better than it would grab onto the slick cardstock. I have accidentally done that before. I have started with the pretty side up because you want to look at the pretty side while you're putting it through the machine, and I had to like do the timing myself. Like it was slipping too much, and so I was having to push it through, which you don't want to do. You don't ever want to fight your machine. So I ended up like stopping and turning it over and doing it that way. So always pretty side down whenever you're doing the edge stitch. 10D works for me. Awesome. Let's see. Ian, gonna do another. I'm easy behind you, LOL, kids. I know. I get that. I'm probably not gonna do another one tonight. I only had the supplies I have the other supplies, but they are off camera, and I didn't have them prepped. I prepped one for tonight, but I didn't do any other ones tonight. Ian, have you sent a postcard to Tiffany yet? No, not yet. One of these may end up over in her direction, because she also made me, oh, that's what I was gonna get. I was gonna get the, hold on, I forgot. We're gonna do a little show and tell. I got something beautiful in the mail from Tiffany. Y'all talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm gonna grab that really quick so that way everybody can see it. But yeah, I was very surprised in the mail. Thank you for reminding me about it, Teresa. I totally forgot until this very second because it was already hanging up in its rightful place. But look what I received from Tiffany. Look how amazing this is. I'm trying to fit all of it into the frame and I'm just failing all over the place. Okay, there we go. Look at this. Look at this beautiful artwork she did for me. Tiffany sent this to me and it is amazing. She even, I don't know if this is going to come across on camera. I'm out of breath. But she even like embroidered the back. Right? Happy mail for the win. Right? Tiffany did an amazing job. I see your question. Who wrote that question? Marla. Marla, I'll answer your question here in just a second. Don't let me forget about it. I'll answer your question here in a second, though. But look at that. It's just gorgeous. Tiffany is so incredibly talented. You are absolutely right. But yeah, she sent that to me, and I feel so incredibly special. It is actually, the reason I forgot about it was because it was literally hanging up over my bed. I had to put it up. I had to put it up as soon as I got it. So I threw it up over my bed. I didn't throw it. I hung it over my bed. I happen to have a curtain rod, an extra curtain rod that I put up there. So that's why I forgot about it. Sorry, Tiffany. I'm so sorry that I forgot about it. It's already had its place of glory, if you will. And it was, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, Tiffany's amazing. All right, so question. Marla asks, could you use pinking shears around the edge? Could you? Yes. Is that going to hold your sandwich together? No. Because as it's going through the mail, more than likely a machine is going to rip off either your paper or your fabric. So if you did the pinking around the edges, go back through also with the stitch as well. So could you do pinking shears? Yes, but you would need to still go back and do that edge stitch as well, because otherwise your sandwich could come apart in the mail, and you don't want that to happen. Lots of gorgeous and beautiful and amazing. Tiffany says it was hard to keep that a secret from Ian, so I didn't tell anyone. That is so funny. It was so funny that I love it. I love it so much. I've sent her pictures of it above my bed, but I freaking love it. It's gorgeous. I opened it up and I was just like, oh, and of course it was wrapped so that the backing fabric was what I saw first. And so then when I opened it, I was just like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. It was so pretty. It was so, so pretty. It is so pretty. I know, it is so pretty. It's so gorgeous. All right. Any questions about postcards and how to do them? Again, please, 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 please go give Sarah Ruiz, either if you're on Instagram, go follow her on Instagram. If you want to go check out her Etsy shop, she doesn't currently have any postcard kits, but keep an eye on her Etsy shop, because she does sometimes put these into her shop for kits, which makes this process a lot easier, where you're not having to cut everything. It's all cut for you. It's all ready to go. She sends you a kit where you can make 5 or 6 of them, I think. And they're so awesome. Go check out her blog. Go check out her instructions. Go give her all the love and light she deserves, because like I said, I learned this process from her, but she's super awesome. Also, there are plenty of other content creators, bloggers and videos and stuff like that on how to make postcards. This is not the only way how to make a postcard. You can even make postcards with binding instead of zigzag stitch. So lots of ways to do it. Excuse me, sorry. Hot dog. My cardstock is 75 pounds. Awesome. Kathleen, she asked, does it have to be white? No, of course not. It can be any color you want it to be. The important thing is, for me at least, to make sure that it's like visible for me to write a message on it. Like, obviously you don't want to have a black cardstock and then write with a black pen. That it would be hard to read, but it can be any color that you want. Jeannie, you can do it. Is it Jenny or Jeannie? You can do it. You can absolutely do it. And that's what I love about this project, is anyone can do it. Word of caution though, after you finish this project, change out your needle. It's going to be a lot duller after you go through all the layers and the cardstock. So this is a good project to do at the end of the life of your needle, because you're going to have to change your needle after you do this project. It's recommended, of course, as you're working on any sewing project, that you change your needle as soon as you start a new project. Dull needles are no good. Change out your needles often. But for this project, I kind of wait to do these until my needle, like I finished up a project, and then I'll do a couple of these postcards, because I know then my needle is going to get thrown away anyways, and that makes it easier. I will make some fabric postcards someday. Good. I can't wait, Tiffany. I can't wait to see what you do. Ah, Tiffany, I love that quilt so much. Love it, love it, love it. All right, anything else? Let's see. Memories of Long Arm Quilter says, Tiff, I would love to do them with you one day, but the time I piece my fabric, you would be finished with the edge. It's so freaking true. Tiffany would be, I swear, I would probably be like choosing my fabric and she would already be going around the edge. So, yeah, Tiffany is such an amazing quilter, but goodness gracious, is she fast. So anyways, all right, guys, I think that's going to do it for today's live. I hope you enjoyed it. Tiffany says, I need to go eat. Bye. And I am also going to say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you had a lot of fun. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click the bell notification icon, and don't forget to turn those notifications on your mobile device so that way you get updated every time I go live or post a new video here on YouTube. I hope everybody has a great evening. Thank you for joining me for my Monday Maker Live and making these postcards. Don't forget to show me your postcards. I want to see them on social media. Tag me at @OffKilterCrafterIan on Instagram and Facebook and all the things. They're listed right below me. So tag me on all the social media platforms. I want to see them. Hope everybody has a great evening. And remember, guys,